Serie A, 20 teams, 18 minutes, title contenders, relegation battles, and pure chaos. Let's break it all down. Let's go. Atalanta is currently playing the best football in the club's history. Despite never winning a Scudetto, the Centurion-old club have laid hands on the Coppa Italia once in the 1960s and recently won the UEFA Europa League title in 2024. They were more of a relegation off-and-on team in the 2000s until Italian manager Gianpiero Gasperini was appointed in 2016. His attacking brand of football caught everyone's eye. It wielded Atalanta to a third-place finish in 3 consecutive seasons, from 2019 to 2021, as the trio of Josip Ilicic, Papu Gomez, and Duvan Zapata ran defenders insane. Ademola Lookman's hat-trick heroics in the 3-0 win over Bayer Leverkusen in the 2024 UEFA Europa League final has to be Atalanta's biggest highlight of their history. Fast forward to 2025, and Atalanta has only gotten much better. With Ademola Lookman, Charles de Ketelaere, and Matteo Retegui leading their incredible attack, they sit comfortably in 3rd place, eyeing their first ever Scudetto title in the club's history. And trust me, not many teams in the world play better football than Atalanta. Bologna is another team whose dominance over Italy failed to stand the test of time. They were one of the earliest founding members of the Serie A in 1909, and they added 7 league titles and 2 Coppa Italia trophies to their name. A series of financial struggles and mismanagement in the early 2000s had sent the club into a rabbit hole of relegation woes until the club returned to Serie A in 2015. The 2022-23 season was when everything changed for Bologna. Under the leadership of Thiago Motta, they finished 5th in the league and secured Champions League qualification for the first time since the 1960s. After the historic season, their pivotal core of Joshua Zirkzee, Riccardo Calafiori, and the mastermind Thiago Motta all departed from Bologna, leaving Italian winger Riccardo Orsolini as their sole starman as they aim for a mid-table finish this season. Did you know Cagliari was once the best team in history? No, seriously. Back in 1970, they won Serie A by conceding just 11 goals all season, which is the kind of defensive record that would make even Jose Mourinho shed a tear of joy. Led by the legendary Gigi Riva, a striker who could probably score blindfolded, Cagliari's triumph remains one of the most underrated title wins in football history. Since then, well, let's just say they've been on an extended vacation from winning silverware. Their recent history, it's been a rollercoaster of relegations. They were in Serie B as recently as 2022, but thanks to the return of Claudio Ranieri, yes, Mr. Leicester City Miracle Man himself, Cagliari pulled off a dramatic promotion in 2023. This season, not looking great. They're hovering above the relegation zone like a student trying to avoid eye contact with the teacher. If they don't find consistency soon, they may be packing their bags for Serie B again. Imagine being relegated, going bankrupt, and then being forced to play in Serie D. That's not a nightmare scenario. That's just Como's last 20 years in football. But now, they're back, and they've brought Cesc Fabregas with them. The former Arsenal and Barcelona star is now managing Como, and his tactics have transformed them into a mini tiki-taka machine. Real Madrid loanee Nico Paz is running the show with 8 goal contributions, while Patrick Cutrone is proving he's still got goals in him. Yes, he still exists. And then there's Dele Alli. Yes, that Dele Alli. He's at Como, looking for a career comeback bigger than Cristiano Ronaldo's headers. If Fabregas can get him firing again, Como's fairy tale might just get even crazier. Empoli is like that one friend who always gets invited to the party but never stays long. Since their first promotion to Serie A in 1986, they've been relegated 8 times, which is basically their version of a summer holiday. Their greatest moment? Qualifying for the UEFA Europa League in 2007. Since then, it's been a constant fight for survival. This season, they're sitting in 14th place, just far enough from relegation to breathe, but close enough that they should probably keep an emergency plan in place. Will they break the cycle and finally settle in Serie A? Or is another see you soon Serie B farewell on the way? Coming up, we have one of the most historic Italian clubs, Fiorentina. With 2 Serie A trophies and 6 Coppa Italia titles, the mighty club from Florence has made a significant mark on Italian football. And for 2 seasons in a row, they have made it back-to-back UEFA Conference League finals, only to bottle them both. Moisken's impressive record of 12 goals and 2 assists this season has kept them in a strong 6th position as they aim to grab a European qualification spot at the end of the season. They have a strong position in 3rd place in the UEFA Conference League, and hopefully, this time, they'll go all the way and win it all, and the 3rd time of asking. Genoa was established in 1893 and is the oldest existent club in Italy's football history. After winning Serie A's first league title, they went on to win it 8 more times, the 4th most ever, and 1 Coppa Italia title to add to their trophy cabinet. Ownership issues and bankruptcy sent Genoa as far back as the Serie C during the 1900s, until they finally returned to Serie A in 2007. However, at the end of the 2021-2022 season, Genoa were placed 19th and were relegated after 15 years in the top division. Genoa hustled their way back the following season, and now they're in 12th place on the league standings. All that is thanks to Patrick Vieira, who helped Genoa out of their relegation slump with 3 wins in the last 5 games. Their Italian striker, Andrea Pinamonti's 6 goals and 1 assist have been crucial in their success this season. Hellas Verona winning the Serie A title in 1985 was like a real-life underdog movie. Picture this, a team with 0 expectations comes out of nowhere and beats the biggest clubs in Italy to win their first and only Scudetto. If Leicester City's 2016 Premier League win had an Italian grandparent, it would be Verona's 1985 miracle. But since then, well, let's just say that trophy is getting real dusty. Verona returned to Serie A in 2019, but breaking into the top 10, that's been a different story. And this season, it's looking rough, very rough. With 6 wins and a league-high 48 goals conceded in just 22 games, Verona's defense, it's been about as solid as a paper umbrella in a thunderstorm. They're sitting in 17th place, and if they don't fix their form soon, they might be taking an extended vacation in Serie B next season. Can they find a last-minute survival spark, or is another disaster-class defending session about to send them packing? Hellas Verona's fans, I hope you like stress, because this relegation battle is going down to the wire. Now we move on to the best team in the country, Inter Milan. Talk about tactical fluidity, quality on and off the pitch, and then the quality in front of the goal. The Nerazzurri have it all. Since they joined Serie A in 1909, Inter Milan is the only team to have never relegated from top-flight football. From their 20 Scudettos and 9 Coppa Italia titles to their 3-time Champions League title and their historic treble season in 2010, the Nerazzurri were a force to reckon with in the 2000s. In 2024, Inter Milan became the 2nd Italian team to lift 20 or more Scudetto titles, and Simone Inzaghi led them to the 2023 Champions League final, only to narrowly lose to Manchester City. They are sitting in 2nd place on the league table, with a game in hand. They just defeated Atalanta to win the 2024 Italian Super Cup, and they're playing one of the finest styles of football in Europe. With the likes of Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram bagging goals, and Nicolo Barella and Hakan Çalhanoğlu orchestrating playing from the midfield, Inter Milan has only lost 2 times across all competitions this season, and are firm favourites to win several major European silverware. Juventus, on the other hand, has fallen far from its glory days. With 36 league titles, 15 Coppa Italian trophies, and 2 Champions League titles to their name, the old lady is renowned as the most successful team ever in Italy. However, this season, it hasn't turned out the way they would have expected. Halfway into the season, they sit in 5th place and miles away from challenging for the league title. Thiago Motta's success with Bologna has failed to take root in Turin, as Juve struggles to win games convincingly. Despite the lethal front duo of Dusan Vlahovic and Kolo Muani, and the creative feat of Kenan Yıldız and Francisco Conceição, the wells of goals have suddenly gone dry in Turin. And, as things stand, Juventus may be heading toward another season without winning a major silverware. Next, we have AS Roma's longtime rivals and the 2nd biggest club in Rome, Lazio. In over 125 years of existence, the Biancazzurri have won the Scudetto twice and added 7 Coppa Italia titles to their trophy cabinet. After facing an economic crisis in the early 2000s, major stars and the club had to be sold and find their foot under a new ownership. After years of struggling in the bottom half, Lazio is currently back to their best this season, with their super-fast Portuguese left-back, Nuno Tavares, effortlessly providing assists, Matteo Guendouzi dictating the play in midfield, and their Argentine sharpshooter, Valentin Castellanos, bagging 8 league titles so far. Lazio is comfortably sitting in 4th place, and they're in prime position for Champions League qualification. Lecce's current relegation battle is like a horror movie, where you already know the ending. But you watch anyway, hoping for a twist. They've only ever finished as high as 9th place, and right now, they're stuck in 18th place, trying to escape Serie B's gravitational pull. Historically, Lecce has never won a major trophy, and their best player at any given time usually gets stolen by a bigger club before they can even enjoy him. This season, nothing is working. They've tried different formations, strategies, and probably even praying to the football gods, but nothing is saving them from the drop zone. Can Lecce pull off a last-minute survival act, or will they be returning to Serie B like a student repeating a grade? When you talk about one of the greatest football heritages ever, AC Milan is one of the best clubs ever. With 7 Championship League titles, 19 Serie A titles, 5 UEFA Super Cups, and 5 Coppa Italian titles, the Rossoneri had the world on its knees in the early 2000s. From Paolo Maldini bossing the defense, Gennaro Gattuso delivering crushing tackles, to Clarence Seedorf elegantly running the midfield, and Philippe Inzaghi being every goalkeeper's greatest nightmare, AC Milan was one of the most feared teams in Europe. After winning their 19th league title in 2022, the Rossoneri are back to being a mid-table club 3 years later, currently sitting at 7th. Their poor run of form has had 2 managers sacked in just 2 years, as former Porto manager Sergio Conceição tries to bring them back to their best. Their best players are Dutch midfielder Tierney Reinders, Captain America Christian Pulisic, and their Portuguese superstar Rafael Leao. Monza's Serie A dream has turned into a nightmare faster than a pizza burning in an oven. After their historic promotion in 2022, they looked solid for 2 seasons, finishing mid-table and avoiding the chaos. But this year, they're getting absolutely cooked. With just 2 wins all season, Monza is sitting dead last, and unless they turn into prime Barcelona overnight, they're heading straight back to Serie B. It's a shame because this is a club that was bankrupt twice and still managed to claw its way back to the top, but right now, they need more than a motivational speech, they need a miracle. Now let's take things back to the top of the table with the league leaders, Napoli. The arrival of Diego Maradona in 1984 started the greatest football revolution in Naples. They went on to win 2 league titles, 6 Coppa Italian trophies, and the 1989 UEFA Cup. It took the Gil Azzurri 33 years before they laid their hands on another Scudetto in 2023 with a 24-point gap, and it's all thanks to Victor Osimhen and Ivica Kvaratselia's phenomenal performance throughout the season. It is 2025 and things have taken a new shape in Naples. The appointment of Antonio Conte and the major additions of Scott McTominay, Billy Gilmore, Romelu Lukaku, and David Neres have turned the Poli into title contenders again. With 17 wins, 53 points, and just 3 league losses so far this season, Napoli is heading toward lifting their 4th Scudetto in the club's history. Once upon a time, Parma was one of the best clubs in Italy. No, really, back in the 1990s, they won 3 Coppa Italian trophies, 2 UEFA Cups, and even a European Super Cup. Legends like Buffon, Thuram, Cannavaro, and Crespo all played here, and now they're 16th, fighting for their lives like a contestant on a reality survival show. With just 4 wins in 22 matches, they're flirting dangerously with relegation. The fans, they deserve better. The glory days of Parma were incredible, but if they don't fix their form soon, they might be stuck in the history books rather than the Serie A table. Another team that desperately needs a resurgence are the Giants of Rome, AS Roma. Since the Giallorossi was founded in 1927, they've laid their hands on the Serie A title thrice. They lifted the Coppa Italia trophy 9 times and won their first European trophy under Jose Mourinho in 2022, beating Feyenoord 1-0 in the UEFA Europa Conference League final. Since the departure of club legends like Francesco Totti and Daniel De Rossi, they have mostly struggled to stay clear of the relegation zone, only qualifying for the Champions League as far back as 2018. Jose Mourinho is the only manager to win Roma a trophy in almost 2 decades, and after a horrible start to the 2024-25 season, it saw 2 managers sacked before Claudio Ranieri was reappointed as Roma's head coach at the end of 2024. With their Ukrainian forward, Artem Dovbyk bagging in goals and Paulo Dybala creating clear-cut chances, Roma are currently placed 9th and are well on track to relive their long-lost glory days. Torino is another team that have cemented their name in Serie A's history books. With 7 league titles and 5 Coppa Italia trophies, Torino had most of their success during the 1940s, but unfortunately, the 1949 Superga air disaster killed the entire team and crew members that boarded the plane. A period of economic difficulties struck the club, leading to multiple relegations before they found their foot in Serie A in 2012. For the past decade, Torino has evaded relegation and stayed in the league as more of a mediocre bottom-half club. It is more of the same this season, with a strong 10th place decision. Torino has enough points to stay clear of the drop zone. They have Che Adams and Valentino Lazaro to thank in large part for keeping them thus far. Udinese is one of the most consistent clubs in Serie A, but also one of the most confusing. They've been around for over 125 years, yet they've never won a major trophy. Even Tottenham fans are looking at them like, wow, that's rough. However, what Udinese does well is produce stars. Over the years, they've helped develop Alexis Sanchez, Samir Handanovic, and Rodrigo de Paul, only for the bigger clubs to snatch them away like kids grabbing candy. This season, they're mid-table, which is basically their natural habitat. With Lorenzo Lucca and Florian Thauvin leading the charge, Udinese is playing well, but probably not well enough to finally win something. Venezia's return to Serie A has gone about as well as a gondola with a hole in it. With just 3 wins in 22 matches, they're sitting 19th, and they're already planning their Serie B farewell tour. And it's a shame, because Venezia actually has a rich history. They won the Coppa Italia in 1941, and in 1942, they finished 3rd in Serie A, but those days are long gone, and right now, they look completely out of their depth. Unless they start pulling off miracle wins, Venezia's time in the top flight is going to be as short-lived as their last stint in Serie A. At least they have one of the best kits in the world, so even if they go down, they'll do it in style. And that's every Serie A club explained. From title contenders to relegation scrappers, Italy's top flight never fails to deliver drama, history, and pure chaos. Now it's over to you. Which team has impressed you the most this season? Will Atalanta finally lift their first Scudetto? Can Napoli repeat their title-winning magic? Or will Juventus and AC Milan get back to their former glory? Drop your predictions in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss more epic football stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao!